So in this video we will be looking at the hanging man candlestick pattern, and this is another simple but very useful pattern, and it is a bearish reversal pattern indicating a potential reversal to the downside. So this will be a pretty short video where we will take a look at how do we identify the hanging man candle, and we will also take a look at a real life example. Real quick before we start, I just have to give a disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes only and nothing in this video is financial advice. But now let's jump right into the video. So right here we have two examples of hanging man candlesticks, and if you have watched my video on the hammer candle, you may wonder here, isn't this the exact same thing as the hammer? Well, the actual look of the candle is the same, but we can actually say that the hanging man is the exact opposite of the hammer because it is the bearish counterpart of the hammer. But let's start here by taking a look at how does the actual candle look like. So first of all, the hanging man candlestick pattern has a small real body, and the real body is this part, the sort of wide part of the candle, and it also has a long lower shadow. And this right here is the shadow, and lower shadow basically means that the shadow is below the real body. In general, we usually want the lower shadow to be at least twice as large as the real body. So in this example, you can see that the sort of lower shadow is much longer than the real body. You know, it looks like it's more than 3 times as long. So that criteria is good for this candle. And now to the difference between the hanging man and the hammer. The hanging man is a bearish reversal pattern. And by bearish, we basically mean that the hanging man pattern indicates a potential reversal to the downside and not the upside. So the hanging man can act as a warning sign that the uptrend might reverse. And this leads us to the next point here, and that is the hanging man candle must appear after an uptrend. So let's take a look at an example of a valid hanging man. If we have an uptrend right here and you have a hanging man appearing, then in this case, this is a valid hanging man pattern. And hopefully this will lead to a reversal here to the downside. But if we, for example, have a trend that looks like this, you know, just sideways, not really trending at all, and then we have a candle that looks like this, in this case, we wouldn't even call this a hanging man candlestick, because in order for it to be a hanging man, it needs to come after an uptrend. But alright, so now when we have a general sense of the hanging man candlestick, now let's take a look at a quick example. And can you spot the hanging man candle on this chart? Well, the hanging man candle is right here. And this is actually a valid hanging man, and the reason for this is that it comes after an uptrend, right? So it comes after an uptrend. The lower shadow of this candle is more than twice as large as the real body. So the criteria here is met. And after that, we saw an impulse here to the downside. Another thing I forgot to mention earlier is that the hanging man can be both red and green, but preferably we want to see a red hanging man. It is a bit more bearish to see a red one. But both are valid hanging man candles. And in this case, it actually played out, and after we saw the hanging man, we actually saw a nice, force to the downside. But alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you feel like you got any kind of help or value, then please consider dropping a like. And if you guys are interested in more, then don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope I will catch you guys in the next video. But for now guys, take care. Ciao, ciao.